Hey guys, welcome to the studio. Today I want to discuss how to get more transparency when it comes to limiting. So limiting is obviously a really common and important process in today's productions. It's a sound we've all become very used to over the last 20 odd years, especially in more electronic forms of music. So while there's inevitable distortion that comes along with limiting, if you push it too far, that distortion becomes very audible and the track will start to fold inwards. And although I highly advise not leaning too much on the master bus for loudness, it's important to get the very best out of your tracks when limiting. So let's jump into the computer and I can show you how to do it. So some of the time when I get tracks to master, there's still quite a bit of gain to be added to get them to a competitive level. And while there's a bunch of other techniques I use to do that, there's still sometimes a fair amount of limiting to be done. So I just want to show you how to get away with more limiting if needed with this simple technique. So firstly, I think it's really important to say that in my opinion, if you're pushing limiters, say more than 4 to 5 dB, you're overdoing it with that instance. And although more modern limiters are designed to handle quite a lot of gain, you start to really hear the limiting when clamping down that much. The aim with limiting is to be as transparent as possible. For the most part, you really don't want to hear it. So the way to do it is simply split the load using 2 or sometimes more limiters and or clippers. You can use 2 instances of the same thing or a combination of a few. It really doesn't matter as it all depends on the sound you feel fits the track the best. For this example, I'm going to be using Karamani and MOA's track Don't Be The One, which I mixed and mastered recently. I'm going to demonstrate the differences between using one limiter to do a lot of gain reduction versus a few different plugins which add up to the same amount of reduction. So let's take a listen to a couple of different examples.
Know you want to have fun, so just know I don't wanna play. I'm usually not this open, but now I'm so exposed to you. You let me know where to hide. Know you want to have fun, so just know I don't wanna play. But now I'm so exposed to you. You let me know where to hide.
So you can probably hear the one that has been pushed just using one instance sounds pretty distorted and is starting to fold inwards. But the second example doesn't really sound like there's too much processing going on at all. And that's because each plugin is introducing a very small amount of distortion each, and therefore is less audibly noticeable when added up to the same amount of gain reduction. Sometimes, however, pushing a limiter maybe a touch harder than you should gives you more excitement, so that could be what you go with. I just wanted to show you a way to create more transparent end results, as for the majority of the time that's what I go for.